Do you understand how dark it is? How far down the line we are? How late it is?
But in the economic stack, we've got some very important information. Lord Rothschild betting on euro collapse, question mark. That's up at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. Banking titan places $200 million short against the European single currency. We're going to be going over that. And CNBC, Der Spiegel, and ABC News are all picking up on that. Moody's says more California cities at risk of bankruptcy. Yeah, it's been engineered that way with unfunded mandates. It's all made-up money the bankers give them. They get real assets back. That's how the banks take over. Euro stock slip after European Central Bank downplays bond report. Facebook stock slides to all-time high. It was always a scam, always meant to be a scam. To scam you. It's a predator class. And they're expanding derivatives worldwide, the CME group is. New coupons aim to keep people off generic drugs. That's just some of the financial news. And you've heard guests here on the broadcast from most of the economists we have on. Dr. Paul Craig Roberts, people that research trends like Gerald Celente, Max Kaiser. They say now more than ever, a collapse. We're already collapsing. We're already deindustrialized. We're already having a rotting in the general economy. Some areas are completely collapsing already, like Detroit and areas outside Los Angeles and, well, many other areas. Crime is exploding. But we're talking about an accelerated collapse becoming a foregone conclusion. In fact, Max Kaiser, if you missed it last Friday, said he does not see a way to avert it mathematically by April of next year. And so that's August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. So I guess that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's like 8.5, 9 months. The point is that I tend to agree with Celente a little more because they can always come up with new crazy gimmicks and bubbles that kind of put things off. And I don't like these gimmicks because it only consolidates power with the globalist. But, I mean, I'm not looking forward to a collapse to be proven right. I'll tell you one thing. I'd love to somehow avert this and people say, oh, Alex, things weren't as bad as you said. I'm not the one saying there's going to be a total collapse. A collapse is imminent, though, on the course we're on. It's kind of like there's an iceberg out there 2 miles ahead of us, and the radar and the visual shows we are on a dead ahead to hit it. And I'm like, hey, we better have a discussion about this. We might want to change course. And if we do change course, that's great. All I know is I've never seen more money being spent. I've never seen more admissions and trial balloons and acclimation conditioning exercises going on like we are now for civil war, basically. I mean, they're telling police departments nationwide, but also all over the world, that the citizens will attack you, harden your facilities, get storable food, get weapons, huge ammo caches, get ready. You've heard the police call in, but you've also seen it in the news. And now the TSA on the highways, rolling out all 50 states. The Secretary of the Army saying put troops on the streets, blimps, drones, Army manuals about gun confiscation in the U.S., new riot gear to stop small arms fire. So it's not just riot gear, it's full-body ballistic gear, incredibly expensive, is being issued to special military units for homeland operations, a new Army helmet with a full ballistic shield in front of it. That was in the news last week. Well, it was in the news because we put it in the news, became a national story. And by the way, all I can say is, thank God for the Drudge Report. Every day for the last week or two, week and a half, the Drudge Report's been linking to our stories. And a lot of them would already, become somewhat national, international. But I mean, with Drudge, it's just, Drudge already recognizes what's important and what a big story is, so that's why he's linking to so many of them, but so much is happening. But the Drudge linking to them is just making, I don't know, we had like 5 stories last week that were national news stories. One of them was responded to by the White House and that's covered by Fox News. We'll cover that when we come back. Agencies tamp down speculation over hollow point ammo purchases. And basically they're saying, don't run, we are your friends, everything's normal, everything's fine, nothing to see. We're fine here. How are you? Who is this? We're sending a squad. No. There's a reactor leak, very dangerous. Boring conversation anyways. We'll be right back with that. That's Han Solo in cell block 1138. All right, we'll be right back. Stay with us. Alex Jones here with a message to fellow freedom lovers. The prognosis for the entire planetary economic system runs from bad to worse. The globalist model is to shut down societies and starve patriots out until they acquiesce to the global takeover. That's why we've assembled the most vital and important preparedness items at InfoWarsShop.com. These are items that I did research on, that I personally use. We've got the life straw, so you can turn fetid water into safe water anywhere you go. The K-Tor hand crank generator to charge up key equipment during power outages or out in the field. Strategic Relocation, 3rd edition by Joel Skousen. When Disaster Strikes by Matthew Stein. ThyroSafe, used by Homeland Security to protect yourself during any radiological event. Hand crank shortwave AM/FM radios. Everything that we've researched and found to be the best is available at InfoWarsShop.com, and your purchase makes our InfoWar possible. We're getting prepared. Are you? InfoWarsShop.com. All right, here is a Fox News report. Thank you for joining us. I'm Alex Jones. Let's break down the foreign banker occupation government trying to spin the national news story that Paul Watson's research helped kick off in the last 2 weeks. This is FoxNews.com. It's also covered on Fox Television. Agencies tamp down speculation over hollow point ammo purchases. Oh, well, I'm glad that they said nothing to worry about. Move along. Obscure federal agencies triggered a firestorm of conspiracy theories. So now if you ask, gee, I wonder why they've bought 1.4 billion rounds of ammo, more than 10 times any yearly purchase in history. And I wonder why they're not military ammo. It's illegal to use hollow points in the military worldwide because of the Geneva Convention. What are you going to do with 1.4 billion plus? Because there's more purchases daily. Now they're blacking out where the ammo is going to. So if we say, oh, you're blacking it out, using critical thinking, wow, you don't want us to know what you're doing, even though you're not mandated by Congress to make these purchases secret. Oh, and they're no-bid contracts to your buddies. There's story after story after story here. If the prostitute lazy media, let me tell you what goes on at these newsrooms now. They've gotten rid of most of the real reporters that cause problems and actually do research. And they got a bunch of lazy people that sit around in radio, TV, and print. And they sit around and wait for press releases to come from government or corporate agencies. And then because they ask weak questions that are softball, they have connections, and they get to call up and talk to the CEO or the governor or the police chief or whoever or the senator, and they'll give them a quote on top of that. And then they get to go on junkets to Hawaii or whatever with the rest of the prostitutes. That's what they do. Not, well, wait a minute, it's 1.4 billion rounds. Oh, wait a minute, they're now, since we're reporting on it, the new purchase orders blacking them out. Hey, you're not allowed to do that. Hey, why are these no bid? I mean, just story after story after story. But because real reporters in dinosaur media are so rare, Fox News can just take the quotes from the federal agency and just put it out there and say, they said it's no big deal, conspiracy theorist. And they use that term over and over and over and over and over again. So now if I have any type of discrimination on what type of car I like, on what type of food I like, on what type of toothpaste I like. That's a conspiracy theory. Because they're saying if you question anything, that's a conspiracy theory, which is a pejorative term to criticize people, implying you're mentally unstable. Well, going along with this out-of-control government and this out-of-control bureaucracy, that's what's mentally unstable. So here they are on the mountain reporting to us like they're God. Agencies tap down speculation over hollow point ammo purchases. I say good job to Fox for even covering this, but they still, to even get it published, have to run with all the little talking points. But the agencies, most recently the Social Security Administration, are trying to put a damper on the speculation, noting the ammunition is standard issue and simply used for mandatory federal training sessions. Really, more than 10 times what you've ever bought, and $1.4 billion. Obscure federal agencies triggered a firestorm of conspiracy theories. Our special agents need to be armed and trained appropriately, said a message on the official blog for the Social Security Inspector General's office explaining the purchases. The bullet purchases drew widespread attention as the website Infowars.com published several stories on them that were linked off of the widely read Drudge Report and other sites. DrudgeReport.com. Infowars.com cataloged a string of recent purchases, because we're evil conspiracy theorists, we link to the official purchase orders. First by the Department of Homeland Security, then by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, and then the Social Security Administration. Yeah, no mention here of the major backdrop that it's $1.4 billion. $250 million, $450 million, $750 million. That was a week and a half ago. Now, hundreds of thousands more a day in the purchase orders. And I mean, we're talking about 20,000 rounds to little bitty offices that we go and look up, don't even supposedly have armed, sworn people in them. But the feds don't care. They've set the precedent with the TSA to let any bureaucrat impersonate a police officer.